Welcome to this Panzer T-25 replay on Sand River, and the Panzer T-25 here is played by SuperMunky from Itch, and he sent me a couple of replays on the forums, asked me to check them out, and this was one of them that I liked quite a lot. For one reason, because it's just generally really good play, and the other one is that I haven't actually featured the Panzer T-25 on my channel. I've got this tank myself, but I haven't played it in like 3 years because I really didn't like the relatively long aim time of this tank, especially not where, I mean, I played it when the Panzer V still had the L70 gun, which had a lot more penetration and I believe also better aim time than this. But now obviously the Panzer IV doesn't have that gun anymore, so it compares really well now. And also it's got an HD model, but it performs really well actually. And at the start, SuperMunky is going to the north flank on this map, which is a good choice, because you can basically only be engaged from one side on this flank. If you go to the middle, while you probably get more targets, you also run the risk of getting completely surrounded. If you're in, say, the D7 area, enemies can potentially move up the left, the right and the front, so you've got 3 flanks to mind, whereas if you're here you've basically got this little bit on the right, which pretty much no one ever goes to apart from that TD for some reason. But more importantly, the guys up the front that you can engage, especially if there's arty. This is a good location because you're relatively safe, but it seems there's only one tank here, so SuperMunky moves up. Also, my laptop is fixed, it no longer crashes. Dell actually stopped by after I gave them a ring and they completely replaced my graphics card, which was actually breaking down, free of charge because I've got a service contract, so that's always nice. So I've been playing World of Tanks a lot lately again, and I've experienced no more crashes at all, not even when recording replays, so that's definitely good. But SuperMunky actually tries to go around the OI experimental here because he was blocking off the pass completely there. Good play by the OI experimental in that sense, but he will be a bit lacking in tactics later on in this replay. SuperMunky actually loads the premium ammo, and it's funny because I was talking to him yesterday in World of Tanks and comparing this tank to the Panzer V-4 that you've seen me play quite a lot recently on my channel. And it's quite funny because the Panzer V-4 is pretty vastly superior to this tank, even though they're on the same tier. And this tank definitely isn't bad. It is actually a really nice and good little tank. But the Panzer V-4 is just so much better, and that's the reason why I still haven't started playing this tank, because I have no need to at the moment. But also a funny thing is this tank has better AP penetration. It's got 116 AP penetration, while the Panzer V-4 has 110. But the premium penetration on this tank is 67, while on the Panzer V-4 it's, if I'm not mistaken, 199. So yeah, a little bit weird discrepancies as well there. And as you all know, I only shoot premium ammo in the Panzer V-4 because I'm trying to get gun marks. I'm up to 87 or 88% at the moment, but it's a bit tricky. It still needs about 1500 average damage per match to not drop a percent, so, or actually to stay equal. So it's still tricky, especially doing 1600 damage in matches like this. But SuperMunky is putting out the damage really well. He actually tried to save his friend there, but it didn't work. And now this KV-1 is charging through the middle of the map. Not the smartest thing to do, but of course he randomly stops in the middle of nowhere, so SuperMunky actually misses his shot, tries to blast one through the building, but it doesn't connect, and then he's pre-aiming for the KV to come out, but the KV-1 is not coming out, which is a bit unfortunate. KV-1 is hesitating, and all the other tanks were spotted on the other side of the map, so he can afford to sit here. Now he's actually mowing down the buildings with the AP shells. The base is being kept by that AMX 38, but he's not really the worry at the moment. But that Marder 2 actually is. So Marder 2 managed to put a nice shot into him, but SuperMunky puts 2 into that Marder 2 and kills him. Marder 2 misses. Twitch a shot, then he loads premium for the side of the KV-1. But because Russia, the shell actually bounces. Second one connects, kills him. And then he is moving again. And as we can see, the enemy RT is doing a nice focus on SuperMunky instead of the one-shot T-34. And RT will keep trying that the whole match, basically. Whenever I play the Panzer V4, the Lefebvre RT is really annoying because it's basically completely overpowered. It's got a really nice rate of fire. It's actually got pretty good aim time as well for an artillery. It's just really annoying. It's got basically all the strengths of the British RT, but it hasn't got the drawbacks. It's actually got really nice firing range and a good shell arc as well. So yeah, there's no wonder that it got pulled from the premium store, because it's not really nice. But then again, Panzer V4 is in the hands of a good player is definitely overpowered as well, so I guess it balances it out. Here SuperMunky actually goes around to try and flank the AMX 38, which is a smart move. I mean, if the RT is focusing you, you have to keep moving, otherwise sooner or later they will actually hit you and do damage. So he keeps moving and keeps steering to make it more difficult for the RT to aim. Kills the AMX 38 and then goes for the OI Experimental, who was last spotted on the hill. OI Experimental is still spotted on the hill, so he moves in. We haven't seen that DW2 in a while. I mean, he's probably coming up the middle. SuperMunky puts one shot in and puts 2 shots in. This gun, as well as the Panzer V4s, can be a bit a troll, because obviously with the 25% RNG and it does 110 damage on average, I think, per shot. You can actually roll for something like 83 or something, some weird low number, which is quite annoying, happens quite a lot. And you really don't want to roll for 83 when you actually need, say for instance, 100 average damage to kill an enemy. But it happens, and it happens quite a lot. It's a bit annoying. Now we've got just the DW2 and the RT left. The RT is on 4 kills, so has been for a while. And the DW2 actually went all the way around to flank the T-34 and SuperMunky, which is, props to him, is a good play actually. Although he showed up a little bit too late to cover the OI. But yeah, that happens as well. And now SuperMunky is playing the range game, basically, which is to position yourself at the maximum point of your view range, basically, so you can see the enemy while they can't, and you can actually fire on them when they still can't see you, which is a very good tactic to play in this situation, because as we can see, the RT has 4 kills and he's been gunning for SuperMunky for quite a while, so he's actually not that bad of a player. And if he gets spotted, he gets barraged, and you don't want that happening, not when it's 2 versus 1 basically. You want to ideally get your enemies 1v1, and here we see RT's super spotting range, so the RT unfortunately now knows where SuperMunky is, and so does the DW2. So he waits to get despotted and moves back. He actually doesn't peek in the same location that he was spotted before, but goes somewhere completely different. But the only thing I can advise him for the future is to try and not knock over trees. You saw him knock over a tree there. He gets spotted again, unfortunately. He managed to put 1 shot into the RT, and there's that aim time of the RT for you. Pretty much the same aim time as this tank itself, and it hit him for almost all his health. So yeah, very balanced vehicle there. SuperMunky moves up. I mean, as I said, we saw him knock over a tree earlier, and he will do later on as well. And if the arty's zoomed out, he will actually see that happening, so he will know where you're driving, which gives it away. But I like what SuperMunky is doing here as well. He's increasing the range between him and the arty, while also keeping the range at maximum for the last spotted position of the DW2. We don't know where he is. I mean, he surprised us earlier with a really good move to move around the flank and the map completely, so he might actually be smart again and make a good move. So you have to take that into account, because even though the arty can't hit you, the DW2 might actually be able to hit you from the other side if you're in his maximum view range. I mean, you don't have to be in a spotting range, because if the arty spots you, you're spotted for the DW2 as well, obviously. So it's a balancing game, and he goes down here, and then once he's despotted, he tries to go up, but then the DW2 gets spotted. So he moves into cover from the DW2, which is good and bad. I would personally get a little bit more range on it, because if the DW2 spots you, arty will be able to shoot your engine deck in this location. So it's a balancing act. But then he tries to move in for the DW2 and gets spotted by the arty again. So he has to move back. DW2 is still in the dip, and he's not the fastest tank. So SuperMunky is actually getting this little range between him and the DW2, which is good play, because now obviously he's in a crossfire. You don't want that. You want to single out your opponents and get them 1v1. So he actually moves into cover from the DW2, and then this arty makes a massive mistake. He thinks that he can actually go shotgun against the tank with gun depression and superior speed, so he dies for it. Really quite bad play for that arty. He was doing a really fine job, but yeah, I mean, mistakes are always made occasionally, and that was one of them. So SuperMunky moves across. He was still spotted by the arty, so we don't see the 6 cents go off. He has to wait until his DW2 is despotted, and then he does a trick move, goes the other way. So the DW2 saw him go left last, but he's still pushing this side. So SuperMunky puts a really nice shot in. DW2 misses, tries to put a second one in, but RNG just says no and shoots into the ground, which is a bit unfortunate. So he moves up here. The Panzer T-25 has got 10 degrees of gun depression, which is really nice. So he tries to get a gun depression shot, but he sees that the DW2 can actually see or aim at his turret as well. So he decides the better of it and does something else. Moves around, waits to get despotted, and then takes range again. So he doesn't get proxied, but goes the other way, which is really good. We can see the battle end notification here, so he's got maximum 2 minutes to take care of it, and then he does it again. He knocks over a tree, which is in this situation something you do not want to do, because you'll give the enemy a pointer at where you're at. But I'll spoil it, the DW2 wasn't looking in this direction anyway. So DW2 is in a pretty good location for his tank. Both of them are a one-shot for each other. I don't know exactly what gun the DW2 has, but he's got a huge... DW2 has got a pretty huge cupola, and he basically gets taken out. It's a really nice ending. I mean, it could have been a close one if they'd both gotten so close to each other that the DW2 could have put a shot in. But as you can see, the sloping on this tank is really quite nice. You have to expose quite a little bit of profile to actually get a shot off. As you can see, SuperMunky's got 2 gun barrel marks on this tank, so he quite loves to play it. He told me so as well. He quite likes this tank. But all in all, a really solid replay, a really solid match in this tank. Some really good play as well, positioning wise, and picking off the enemies in a good order actually. Quickly run down the statistics. He did 2.4k damage in this match, got 1586 base XP, 9 kills, so that's a Radley Walters medal. He got a Top Gun medal, obviously, for 6 or more kills, and the high caliber. And yeah, all in all, a really good match. So yeah, but I might actually give this tank a go myself in the future. Just check it out. I still like the look of it. I do hope you did enjoy the replay. If you did, please rate it, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next time.